When you have blood sugar that's high and then low, this change from high to low and low to high, it's this change that actually triggers a ton of autoimmune symptoms. And here's the deal. This low blood sugar is the biggest trigger of autoimmune symptoms, period. Today, we're going to talk about what time of the day your symptoms are worse while dealing with autoimmunity. We did a poll earlier in the week in our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. If you're not in the group, go ahead and click to join the group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. If you're in the group, today we're actually going to reveal the results of our poll, and we're really going to kind of open the lid on that there is a pattern to autoimmunity and your symptoms. Why is it this time of the day it's typically the worst? Now, early in the week, we asked what symptoms are the worst and why during certain times of the day. And I can tell you right now, we have a poll, over 120 people answered the poll, and 84 out of 120 mentioned that it was either the middle of the night or first thing in the morning was the worst. That I kid you not, that is near, I think 70% of you thought that middle of the night or early morning was the worst time for autoimmune symptoms. And today what I want to do is talk about why that's the case. This is a pattern I see in autoimmunity over and over again. I'm Maggie Yu, MD, and I'm a functional and holistic medicine MD with over 23 years of experience as an MD, and the last 12, 13 years of it as a functional medicine physician. And having been an autoimmune disease sufferer myself with Hashimoto's, fibromyalgia, and multiple other physical symptoms from autoimmunity, this is a code and a system that I actually experienced and cracked. And one of the things that I've really noticed was middle of the night is horrible for people, and the next morning is crappy. Symptoms are always worse. It doesn't even matter what autoimmune diagnosis you have, the symptoms are typically worse. And I'm looking at comments from the group. Susie was saying that she feels like her nervous system is doing weird things at night. Noelle says that as the day goes on and by the time it's the evening, if she feels like her body is slowly shutting down. Brandy says pressure in her head and nose gets worse, and dizziness, vertigo spells, and panic attacks way worse in the middle of the night. And this is really, really common. How many of you, if you're watching the comment section, can you tell me hi, tell me what autoimmune symptoms you're suffering with? Tell me what they are in the comment section. That'll be great. Ooh, this is interesting. T says, not answering time of day. She says, I'm 95% sure my symptoms are worse premenstrual, especially around ovulation. There is a role in hormones here. So that's monthly cycle timing. Okay, rather than day. Good. Letitia says, waking up with the most pain. Morning is the worst for her pain level. And Cindy, who's currently in our program, says that her stiffness from her RA was always the worst when she woke up in the morning. And so I asked people to actually guess what is the reason. And I'm going to reveal the answer today is that the reason is, there are many reasons. If you actually look at the 5 pillars of our program, I can link every single pillar to why middle of the night and morning is the worst. But overwhelmingly, number one, if you guys have the answer, put it in the comment section, is blood sugar. Lack of blood sugar stabilization throughout the day, not just in the middle of the night, but you need blood sugar to be stable throughout the day. Now, no one dealing with autoimmunity, no doctor, no system, no book dealing with autoimmunity has talked about this. And blood sugar mastery is key, okay? Why is it then blood sugar mastery relates to middle of the night and morning? Well, okay, here's what I learned. If all you have to do is cut sugar out of your diet and your autoimmune symptoms are better, you guys have all done that and tried that. And if that got you success, you don't need to listen to this, okay? But what I have found is that it's not about just high blood sugar and eating a lot of sugar, okay? There's actually something where it's high and low blood sugar jumping back and forth throughout the day. So it's like literally a roller coaster wave throughout the day, right? When you have blood sugar that's high and then low, this change from high to low and low to high, it's this change that actually triggers a ton of autoimmune symptoms. So it's not everybody that's middle of the night or morning, but I can tell you that 90 to 95% of people with autoimmunity, middle of the night and early morning is when they have the worst blood sugar crashes happening from the high to low. But during the day, you can still have, some people are late afternoon. There's actually a significant number of you that have afternoon symptoms as well. There's the afternoon crash that is real, okay? And so there is a cycle with which, and there's many reasons I can go into why blood sugar is such a big deal in autoimmunity more than the general population. And T probably mentioned it when she was talking about hormones. There's actually a huge hormonal component to why we're more sensitive to blood sugar ups or downs, okay? And that's why in our 5 pillars, when you look at it, yes, blood sugar mastery is one of our pillars, but our other big giant pillar is hormones, hormone imbalances, men and women, makes you way more sensitive to fluctuations in blood sugar. I'm looking in the group. Danica says, always in the morning, headache, back pain, dizzy spells. Exactly, okay? So headaches, back pain, dizziness. A lot of people don't relate this with any sort of blood sugar issues through the night. So what happens is that what I find is that people are way more sensitive to whether blood sugar is high or low. And so there's hormonal reasons, whether it's certain times of the month, whether it's peri or postmenopausal. And for men, there is also declines and changes in hormones. And that's why around 40s and 50s for men, there is also, that can also trigger them to be more sensitive to blood sugar changes. So there's a hormonal component, and that's why we have a whole unit around hormones in our Facebook group. It's a huge pillar in our program, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally. You gotta master your hormones, and you gotta test, understand, and master and balance your hormones to really achieve blood sugar mastery. That being said, when people talk about, okay, well, why is it middle of the night so worse? Is because what I find is if you eat dinner at, let's say, 8 o'clock, and let's say you eat nothing until 7 a.m. the next morning, that is 11 to 12 hours where you don't have blood sugar stable. And if you think about this, even if you, I'm just gonna say, let's say you ate the most balanced meal on the planet, perfectly balanced with the fat, the protein, and the complex carbohydrates, right? How many hours do you guys think that really keeps your blood sugar stable for? And I can tell you right now that from personal experience and watching this, 5-6 hours. So typically what happens is from literally 2 a.m. until you wake up 7 a.m., you're in blood sugar hell. And this situation is exacerbated if you're going through hormonal changes. And here's the deal. This low blood sugar is the biggest trigger of autoimmune symptoms, period. Okay. And it could be vertigo. Some of you mentioned vertigo. It can be headache. And those of you wake up in the middle of the night with palpitations, anxiety, overthinking. Yeah. Amy says she only gets about 2 hours of sleep before her pain wakes her up. Yeah. The pain is way higher and it wakes you up. And then it sets off this whole thinking and anxiety, right? Guess what happens when you have low blood sugar? It triggers your adrenals into thinking that you're dying, and it sends up adrenaline. Okay, so there's a hormonal thing that happens when you hit low blood sugar in the middle of the night. Your hormones kick up for adrenaline, making you think, I'm dying, and I'm anxious, and it keeps us racing thoughts going like crazy. Okay, is this making sense to you that this is not a small deal? This is a huge part in learning how to turn around your autoimmunity. Is you gotta master blood sugar. And it just so happens that middle of the night, early morning is when people have the most blood sugar problems. And that's when they notice the symptoms the most. But this can be happening throughout the day. Okay. And on top of it, if your hormones aren't balanced, whether that's your thyroid, your ovarian or testicular hormones, or whether that's your adrenals, it's going to make your ability to deal with blood sugar way worse, which is why you got to deal with hormones as well. Practical advice. Some people are asking me, what are some things that as far as supplementation, what are some things that I can do to actually help with blood sugar balance in the middle of the night? So I want to tell you guys that there is not a quick Band-Aid fix to this problem, because as you can tell, this is happening throughout the day, okay? All day long. It's not like, oh, I can eat some super balanced thing at dinner or right before bed, and that solves my 24-hour problem. This requires mastery and thinking it throughout the entire day. T just says palpitations are a mess. And I'm betting you that she didn't just have it in the middle of the night. She has episodes of it during the day as well. And these palpitations and her autoimmunity and blood sugar and her hormones, 100% fully linked, okay? So when I think about in our program, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, it's a 2-month online program working directly with me and my team. We spend a whole entire module of our program specifically on learning what are the things that you can do to actually help you with blood sugar stabilization throughout the day. This is really important. But that being said, I want to mention that food mapping is really important. If you're even eating the most balanced food, whether it be protein, fat, or fiber, but you think that it's healthy, and it could be, what if it's broccoli or sesame seeds, right? You think it's healthy, but it happens to be one of the foods that's actually triggering your autoimmunity. You could be as healthy and as balanced as you want to be. You will still have worsening of your autoimmune symptoms, which is why food mapping is a huge part of our program, where you use data. We actually do blood testing and show you exactly using data to pinpoint what foods are triggering the autoimmunity, so that when you actually have the skills to learn how to master blood sugar, you're not filling it with healthy foods that actually could be still triggering your autoimmunity. If you guys, if you're in the Facebook group right now, there is actually units around. If you're interested in learning more about food mapping, there's a whole unit on food mapping. Christina Chun actually has some great interviews. We did an interview when she ended our program, and we did an interview with her a year and a half after the program to see what her progress with and her continued food expansion as she went through our program. It's really important to look through that if you're interested in seeing more how food mapping can impact upon your autoimmunity. Back to blood sugar. Is that some of the mainstays that I do talk about in our program, besides some of the lifestyle things that we do and all the trainings and food journal reviews we do in the program, there are products that are helpful. And I'm going to invite you guys to actually go ahead and make sure that you watch the training on Golden Balance. I know this is backwards. Oh, it's not backwards. Cool. Golden Balance, I did a whole training on Golden Balance and blood sugar right before bed. Cora can tag that video if you're in the Facebook group, or when you're seeing this on the Facebook page, we'll tag you in the video in there below. I did a whole training around how the specific supplements that are in Golden Balance, including curcumin, black pepper, and our collagen in there, is really an incredible way to ground your blood sugar throughout the night. But also the curcumin and other herbs in there really helps your liver work overnight to help detox. And there's something really to be said that in the middle of the night, your body's actually, and your liver is working really hard to detoxify your body, okay? And to also work really hard to break down some of your hormone breakdown products and get rid of them, and to help you with hormone balance. So Golden Balance is a product that I use every single night personally, and I make a warm drink with it that's incredible. You can mix it with some water, or I personally do it in coconut milk or coconut cream, warm drink right before bed, super helpful. The second supplement I want to talk about, I don't talk about this one as much because we think of this as a hormone powerhouse when we talk about blood sugar. This Relaxer is our hormone powerhouse, which has myo-inositol. And people who have taken our hormone program, my hormone masterclass, know about Relaxer. People in our main program, Transform Autoimmune, you know you got your hormones tested and you've gone through the training as well. Relaxer has ingredients in it that are incredible to help middle of the night and early morning symptoms. And when I look at it, the myo-inositol is incredible in balancing blood sugar throughout the night. There are other ingredients in it that are great, such as the magnesium in it, which is really good for sleep and anxiety. There's also anxiety is fueled by lower levels of GABA, which is a brain hormone in the brain. So there's actually L-theanine, GABA, and taurine in here, all support GABA. So this particular product called Relaxer is really incredible for people in the middle of the night who have a lot of anxiety, palpitation, insomnia, overthinking. That's a really great product. It's just one scoop in your any sort of liquid drink right before bed. Can you combine Golden Balance with a scoop of Relaxer in it? Hell yes, you can. But again, those are supplementation. While they're great to me, they can help with symptoms. They don't address the underlying cause, which is why for me, this was really great. I hope that now you can understand that it's kind of it's middle of the night and early morning is the worst for most people with autoimmune symptoms. And for some people is afternoon crash. And that this is really linked to blood sugar problems. And just to make it way more fun, blood sugar problems are completely linked with hormone imbalance And it's also linked with food mapping. You're making sure that you're actually eating the foods that aren't triggering autoimmunity while you're balancing blood sugar is the key. This is all components of our program, Transform Autoimmune. And if you're interested in actually getting your hormones checked, food mapping done, and learning how to master your blood sugar, please go ahead and book a call with our team. Our link is up above, and Cora can put it into chat, where you can book a call with our team to learn more about our program and see if it's the right fit for you. And I want to thank you to all of you who participated in our poll earlier this week, because that really helped. It cemented what I've known all along, which is that about 70–80% of us have the most worst symptoms in the middle of the night and early in the morning. And I hope now you understand the why. And to me, educating people on the why always makes the how 1,000 times easier to get to. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I hope that was helpful. I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks, everybody.